It's been a while since my last request video, and it isn't just because 2020 has been an intense year for everyone, but it's kind of because my personal life blew up. It's definitely a sad topic, but I thought I should share for those of you who are interested. A few months ago, my great-grandmother passed away, and 3 weeks after that, so did my dog. While my grandmother's health had been declining before her passing, it was still kind of out of nowhere. I don't really know if you can prepare for any loved one's death properly, but grief is a heck of a thing, and it hit me really hard because she essentially raised me. It was the same for my dog. She'd had tumors building up for years, but her energy was super high every day, and then she just suddenly conked out. I was less prepared for that and had just gotten back into working on videos and things when it happened, so it put a dent in everything all over again. I hate to bum anybody out with this stuff, but I wanted to be open about what's been going on with me. I finished my Hemlock Grove and my Tarzan video that I already had in the works without giving an update in those because they weren't really the right place for that sort of thing. And I tried to make a video about the artwork I'd made in their memory, but I just ended up crying through the whole thing, and it just wasn't something I wanted to share. Those other 2 videos had already been pre-recorded, and all I had to do was slap them all together to finish it up. So now that I've covered what was going on a few months ago, I want to talk about how I got through the other end. Even though I kind of had time to process while my grandmother is passing away, I didn't have any time to process my dog's passing ahead of time. And without even a month to get through the grief of the first death, it was really easy to get swept up in it, and it really made me want to just step away from everything. I didn't feel like having fun or laughing. I just wanted to mope. So it was nice that I had my brother and my sister around to help me with editing and keep me motivated so I can finish those other 2 videos and get them up. But after I did get those videos finished, I just kind of got into a funk, and I haven't really done a whole lot since then. You should always absolutely let yourself be sad, but it's not the best idea to let yourself get taken over by that sadness. So I thought about what I could handle in terms of things that weren't going to slap me in the face with feelings. I wanted something simple that could let me get out of my own head for a little while and relax. And as silly as it was, I landed on Nancy Drew books. I remember reading them in 3rd grade and liking them, so I put on my mask and headed to the used bookstore and bought as many as I could. It helped so much. I carried the first one with me everywhere. Since we're still under quarantine, everywhere really just means around the house, but still. I read it any time I felt like I was being totally consumed by emotion and sadness. Again, I know it seems silly, but if you can think of any little healthy thing to help reset your brain box, you should go for it. I'm still reading the second one since I'm going a little slower now that I'm not sad all the time and I've gotten back to working on things. I still just really like having that little mechanism of escape lately. I don't know if I'll keep doing it or if I'll get through all of the Nancy Drews that I bought this year, but I'm glad that the thought came to me and that I was able to find something to escape with. This year has been rough on everybody, and I really think it's important for us to just take a minute. They say grief takes many forms and it can last a lot longer than you expect, and I'm really trying to keep an eye on that. When I was in the thick of it, I was grumpy, I had 0 patience, I would just cry out of nowhere, and I felt really guilty enjoying anything. I kept feeling like I should be feeling one way or another, even though I knew that wasn't a healthy way of thinking. You don't have to feel any way at any time, but try telling that to your brain on grief. It probably won't go over well. Another reason why I didn't get to finish this video sooner is because after everything else, I got into some friend drama. But that's a tale for another video, because I think there's a good lesson to learn in there. And honestly, I think it's through sharing experiences like the ones I've shared here and the ones I plan on sharing, because it helps us all feel like we're not alone and like someone understands it. And hey, you might learn something from one of them. And then maybe the terrible stuff won't seem so terrible anymore. Ah, if only. And then, just as I was about to get it all going, I remembered I had a family visit planned. So that added another week on top of the delays. Now that all that stuff's taken care of, I hope I can get back to uploading videos on a schedule of about once a month like I was doing before. But as we've learned from this situation, life can take any direction, so who knows? I just hope you'll bear with me in the meantime. I hope you didn't mind me rambling. I feel bad for attaching this to the requester's video, but I usually end up talking about myself in one way or another in these, so I thought it was more appropriate than trying to put together a separate video or tagging it onto one of my reviews. Now that I talked about all of that stuff, we can actually talk about this drawing now. I decided to stick to the black outlines for this because I wanted it to go a little faster, although it took longer than I had wanted it to. Mostly because since I took a break, drawing just takes a lot longer than it used to, and I'm not really sure if it's just that I'm out of practice or if I'm still feeling mopey. It's hard to say. To be honest, I didn't even really like the direction I was going in with it until after it was all finished. I don't really know what it was about it that I didn't like in particular. It was just everything. Everything was just bothering me and felt wrong. I didn't like the pose, I didn't like the line width, I didn't like the shading, I didn't like anything. But I pushed through it because I've been feeling that way about everything I've drawn this year ever since all the craziness happened. In case you couldn't guess, this one's a Sonic OC, which actually tends to be kind of a pretty common genre. Even I couldn't resist doing a Sonic Pokemon crossover a little while ago. There were a lot of little details I had to make sure that I got just right when I was drawing this. And I wanted to maintain the proportions while pushing a little further in the direction of other Sonic characters. I hope I did the requester's character justice, but either way, I'm happy with the result. And it was a nice little boost to the creativity again. Thanks for watching!